Welcome, everybody. Appreciate you joining us, or if you're listening to the recording, appreciate you tuning in. I'm Jamie Loprice. I'm the CEO of the Alliance Fast Pitch. From our team, we have David McCorkle, who runs our league operations. He's going to talk a lot about our national events and what all that entails. We have Shannon Harvey. Shannon, I'm going to call you our business manager because you keep everything in line. Shannon can answer all questions, registration. If you have anything, let's see. We also, from a partner standpoint, Andrew Beal, the CEO of Athletes Go Live, has joined us. We also have Madison Cronover and Tony Boyd, who are going to talk to you guys about a new national championship that the Alliance launched this year called our Open Nationals. That'll be hosted by the city of Chattanooga, Tennessee. So they will join in here at the end and talk more about that event. I'm going to pass over to Randy Gale, the commissioner of the Rmfl.
Hi, thanks, Jamie. So I'm Randy Gale. I'm the commissioner of Rmfl, like Jamie said. I've been doing this now since the inception. So we're going into 2 years almost. Pablo Severson's our deputy commissioner. So he's online there. You see Pablo. Our league admin is Chris Savaggi. He takes care of all things registration, works hand in hand with Shannon, and tries to keep everybody online with our registration and that process. He also acts as our Rmfl CFO as well. So he deals with all of our financials. And then we have Jeff Dunning. Jeff is our scorekeeper and rules committee person. He also is our tournament director, who oversees all the tournaments that we point or we give bids out to. So Jeff Dunning has that role as basically the tournament lead guy for the Rmfl. So everything goes through Jeff regarding that, no matter what state we're in, all feeds through Jeff. He also works on making sure that our scores and everything are aligned with AGL, and that whole process works well. So then we also have Jonathan Gandert. He is our state rep for New Mexico. He is part of our board. We work hand in hand with Jonathan on events that are going to be coming to New Mexico. He was a big part of our fall championship that we had out in El Paso this past fall, and getting West Texas on board with us as well, because we do now have West Texas as part of our region. We also have we have Roger Nyman, who is our Utah representative. Roger, all things Utah, tournaments, any pointed events out there from Utah, those are all going to go through Roger, and they're going to come to us. Roger, is working on building that region up, that part of the state, to be part of the Rmfl. So, we're looking forward to having more events out in Utah as well as we grow. And then Manny Medina, who is not on currently, he's sort of our West Texas rep. He has a lot of insight there. He's who we work with for our fall championship series, which we give out a bid for. And so, Manny's going to be working the West Texas angle for us as well. And then that's it.
All right. Well, let's go ahead and kick this thing off here. I'm going to share my screen and just give everybody an outline of what we're going to cover tonight. So hopefully the goal for this is to really address just kind of who the Alliance is, what the Rmfl is, and how that applies to you. So I'm going to go over just the Alliance Fast Pitch. I'm going to talk about a lot of our membership, particularly our membership benefits. We're going to highlight a few of our partners. We have Athletes Go Live here. And then I'll give it back over to Randy to speak specifically about the Rmfl. And we'll close it out with our national championships and events. If you guys have questions, please feel free to throw those in the chat. We will either address them within the chat, or we also can address those live. But would love to hear from you guys. Please ask questions. We want to make sure you took the time tonight and we get those questions answered. So to start off, I know we get this a lot, as Randy mentioned, we're only in season 2 of the Alliance. For me, I work on this thing every day. I feel like it's been a lot longer, but we're only in season 2. So we get asked often, what is the Alliance Fast Pitch? Why should I be a part of it? So I wanted to start of just kind of differentiating who we are compared to some of the other organizations that you see in our sport. So to start, USA Softball is our governing body, right? They're the NGB for our sport. The USSSAs of the world, the PGFs, are more of a sanctioning body. They're hosting the tournaments every weekend. Then you have Triple Crown, that is an event company, right, and host a lot of our big events in the sport of softball. The Alliance is really this network of teams. If I had to simply define it, it's a national body for teams. And that's what this was built for, was really to bring all these teams together. So through a whole bunch of logos here, there's many, many more that are all part of the Alliance. And to me, this is really the beauty of the Alliance Fast Pitch and why we were created. It all happened in 2020, where teams said, hey, why don't we start working together? Let's combine our resources off the field, and then let's compete on the field in pathways through league play and earning our spot in a championship. And so what's been great is the idea of leveling the playing field. I think that's really relevant to a lot of the teams in the Rocky Mountain League, giving you guys the same equal access and opportunity to resources as well as to national championships. And this is big for me personally, as well as our entire leadership of our core values. And number one, it's pretty simple. We put the athlete first. If we're this whole group of teams, then we've got a direct responsibility to those families and to the athlete. So the athlete is at the core of everything that we do: player development, coach development. You're going to hear me talk a lot about collaboration and cooperation, working together, unity, and it's going on all across the country. I'm the person that gets to witness it weekly. It's not just here in the Rocky Mountain region, it's everywhere. Teams that for the long time in softball, we thought there was a rivalry or they couldn't work together. That's changing. And now it really is the trend to let's collaborate. And you see, many of the faces here on this call are great examples of that. So we've organized the country through our member leagues. We have 8 member leagues this year. We have expanded from 6 last season. We added the addition of the Northwest Fast Pitch League. We've actually expanded a little bit into Canada here. And we also added the Atlantic Fast Pitch League. So the idea behind our leagues is that really gives this regional feel where teams can just play within the region. They can, there's competitive tournaments, there's points, there's pathway to championships, and everybody can collaborate and kind of stay at home until our national championship. How does it work? To start, it starts at the coach. So if you want to become a member of the Rocky Mountain League, if you want to join the Alliance, it all starts with the coach first. The coach is going to register his or her team with the Alliance is going to register him or herself with the Alliance Fast Pitch. They will also create a team and register for the Rocky Mountain League. That coach will then go in and invite all of the athletes and all of the coaches on their roster to become members of the Alliance. And so then all those individual athletes and all those individual coaches will actually become members of the Alliance Fast Pitch. So individuals become members of the Alliance, teams become members of the Rocky Mountain League. And why is that important? And I really want to change this narrative between registering and becoming a member. When I think of membership in general, of why do I become a member of something, it's to have access to resources. It's to have exclusive discounts through my membership. It's to be a part of a community. It's to have access to a network. It's for the recognition within our membership. And then in this particular one, we also have pathways to championship. So with that, in our membership for the Alliance, it's really about walking with that athlete, walking with that coach through her journey in travel fast pitch. So we've gone out, it's my job with the Alliance. We're going out and getting these partners similar to what maybe some of the bigger clubs do. We're going to go out, we're going to find the best resources in the game, and we're going to bring those back to all of our teams and give every team an equal access and opportunity to have the same resources, and honestly offered at a much cheaper price. So athlete and coach memberships are only $50 annually for the year. If you are a junior team, they're 10U or 12U, it's $35. And so really think of it as that's for the year. So this membership is going to give you access to all of this. This list will continue to grow. All members do become members of USA Softball. We have a recruiting partner with NCSA. We have another recruiting resource for recruiting videos with College Bound Jocks. Visual Edge is a vision partner that we have. Every single member of the Alliance actually gets a free visual exam, and you get exclusive discounts to their training program where you can actually get better with your vision. High level throwing, something we all have to do as softball players. Everybody gets a free throwing program, arm care program. You also get access to a remote training program. You get discounts for the training program. You get discounts for the tools. Every week, all members have the ability to sign on to our Famer app. I'll talk a little bit more about that. But every week, we're pushing out workouts. We've gone out, we've got workout videos, tips, drills, strategy from some of the best youth coaches in the game, professional players, professional coaches, and we've collaborated on all of these videos and put them on one platform. So many membership benefits that come along the way. Like I said, we're continuing to add to this, but really the idea is to bring athletes, coaches, and teams valuable resources. So the other thing, and I'm a competitor, I played the sport, and obviously we want to compete on the field, but then as a membership, we want to engage our members off the field. So we've done all kinds of things from webinars to just videos to contests, different things. We have a newsletter, we have member success emails that go out, anything to engage your athletes. So typically when you're done with the tournament on Sunday, you go home, you're done. Our goal is to then engage you on Monday. Hey, something hit in your inbox. Here's a new thing that's going on. It's an annual membership, and it's our goal to continue to make our athletes and our coaches better. So here's an example with a company called Hit Tracks that we did a fun competition last year. Every league put together some teams. We created these fun interactive brackets, put some bragging rights to the leagues off the field. So we incorporated training and education into a competition. And so you can see kind of some of the results that came out of that. We had a national Throw Like a Girl Day where we had all athletes submit these videos. We had a 4-part series of throwing. We did a recruit week, Battle of the Blast. We had a pilot program with our visual company. So like I said, anything to try and engage our athletes off the field. And not just athletes, we also have it for coaches. This just some examples of webinars, whether it's NCSA with recruiting. This is Austin Wasserman with high level throwing that did a webinar just on throwing. We did an entire recruit week heading into the 6-week recruiting period in the fall, where we activated some of our different partners, talking specifically to coaches, something that we're actually about to launch this month. Every month, we're going to have a Monday night fast pitch where we're bringing on different topics, different coaches, different leaders. We want something every single month to educate, engage all of our members. I'm going to pause for a sec here and actually give you an example. This is an example of the Famer. This is my phone screen, but this is the Famer app. So all members get a subscription to this platform. So you can kind of see here just some different drills or workouts. Here's an example of a acceleration.
Hi, I'm Christy
agility
Bell,
drill.
and this is the 5-10-5 drill. This is a really important drill in softball because it's going to help with change of direction and acceleration.
Another example, we had a coach from Texas talking about slapping drills and just some different strategy here.
Well, I would convert a kid as soon as you understand that they are a good enough athlete to function on that side of the plate long term. I think what happens is a lot of times when girls are struggling on the right side, coaches will convert them to let them have some success, which I understand. But if the kid doesn't have the long-term speed, still have to keep in mind, first and foremost, you have to be a speed player in order to be a really high-level slapper.
So just wanted to give you a quick example. Again, that's all included in your membership. There is an athlete channel. There's also a coach channel. So some of the drills are catered specifically. We're talking to coaches on how to coach the game. One of our big partnerships that we signed was with Under Armour. So Under Armour is the official apparel and footwear brand of the Alliance Fast Pitch. A couple things and ways that they activated last year. They actually brought a recovery zone to our national championship. So we had Normatec boots, and foam rollers. Pretty cool for athletes competing in a national championship. And they had the ability for free to go over into this recovery tent and actually just recover within their games. This is another example, which was really cool. We'll talk a little bit more about our Alliance All-Star game. I think we had 3 Rocky Mountain athletes that were a part of that inaugural game. They came in and outfitted the girls with a whole bunch of swag. And then this big interactive bracket that Under Armour brought in, just another fun way. You can see all the athletes taking pictures. And this is another cool feature with Under Armour. They're actually launching, there's always different coaching seminars or webinars. They're doing one this month. March is Women's History Month. They're doing some different webinars that our members will have access to for free. They also have exclusive discounts for all of our teams on uniforms, footwear, coaches gear, fan wear. So I know a lot of teams, especially in the Alliance, already have maybe a uniform deal, or maybe they have a shoe deal, but a lot of you guys don't. And so this is an opportunity to go in and get some of the same discounts that the bigger clubs and organizations get. You're getting rebates back on every purchase. So if anybody is interested on what Under Armour can offer your team or your organization, we'll make sure, Shannon, if you don't mind, maybe putting Haley's contact, but we have a direct partnership and relationship with Under Armour. NCSA is another big one. I like to think of us as kind of the vetting partner. So there's all kinds of recruiting resources out there. We took the time and talked to a lot of them and said, hey, what's going to be best for the athletes and the coaches? So we signed a partnership as our exclusive recruiting partner with NCSA. So what that means, every athlete is getting free tools, every coach is getting free tools, and then you also get a 50% discount just by being an Alliance member, which, by the way, completely pays for itself with our Alliance membership. But Team Edition, you guys are getting 50% off anything, or sorry, all of the recruiting services that NCSA does have. All right, and with that, one of our biggest partners as well is Athletes Go Live, and Andrew's on here is going to talk more specifically. Athletes Go Live, you'll hear that a lot. Obviously, it affects all of your games, but it was important for us to have a partner that will work with us in this space. So Athletes Go Live is our live scoring and our live streaming partner, and I will let Andrew take it from here.
Thank you, Jamie. All right, so I appreciate you guys allowing me to speak on behalf of Athletes Go Live. We're very pleased with a lot of the work that's been done between the Alliance and Athletes Go Live in building something that's really unique and has never really been seen out there in the sport. Why is it important to score and stream with AGL? We've spent a lot of time building a custom API integration with the Alliance to allow, when you're scoring and streaming, to allow that data to load directly to the Alliance. So it's going to allow for all the point systems, all the standings, all the stat leaderboards that are going to be coming in 2022 for the individual players as well as the teams. All that data is going to be loading directly from AGL directly to the Alliance. So there'll be no more manual entry from the commissioners. Everything is going to be on a more of an automated basis. It's also where the Alliance is going to be doing all their player recognition, from whether it's all tournament teams, whether it's player of the month, player of the year, all that kind of stuff is going to be coming from all that stat data that we're providing for them. And then also all the top plays and highlight reels for every Alliance event. We've actually added some pretty cool integration with the Alliance on that piece as well, which I'll show you. For any of you that are not familiar with Athletes Go Live, we are a full-blown live scoring, live streaming platform. Essentially, you can stream with any Apple or Android device for free. We do have our own custom camera that teams could either purchase, or we do have a promotion where teams can get that for free. The benefit of our camera is it has an operating temperature of 150 degrees, so it doesn't overheat in the summertime. It is also certified with Verizon and AT&T. Our new version 2 cameras certified with Verizon or AT&T, so you could just get a data plan, so you're not worrying about trying to connect to a Wi-Fi or hotspot, which typically is not a reliable way to stream. It does maintain all your team and player stats. Any of your kids that are going into high school ball, we are now also an official stat partner for Max Prep. So any of your kids use athletes go live during their high school season, all those games from high school would load to the same account for the parents to watch, as well as the kids to pull clips from that. Our packages are pretty simple. It's $16.99, $179.99 for a basic pass. This allows them to watch any game live, any game archive. They can see their kid stats, and a fan can also post clips to social media. With our premium package, we have some college coach integration, which I'll show you in a little bit, but it's a little bit more, but they get some pretty cool college coach integration with that. We do have a new team package promotion. Instead of paying $199 a year per player, it's only $150 per player. So your parents save money, and we actually give the team a free camera. So that's a promo that's available for teams out there today. We also have a certified official scorekeeper program. So for every team that you have out there playing, for any of the teams that are playing, whoever the official scorekeeper is of that team, they actually get a free subscription from Athletes Go Live for being the official scorekeeper. And then we give them some additional perks, like being invited to a private Facebook group only for official scorekeepers so they can communicate with each other, and some other, bells and whistles that we give the official scorekeepers. This is submitting your clips and highlights. A fan and an athlete both have this functionality built in now. As an Alliance team, the Alliance logo is actually going to show on the screen when you go to your video clips. So you can pull clips, you can post, you can save clips in your folder. And then if you hit the Alliance logo, it actually sends that clip directly to the Alliance marketing department for top plays of a tournament, highlight reels, player spotlights, all that kind of stuff. The Premier Pass I talked about, that was a little bit more. We have a complete database of every college coach in the country. Athletes have access to our college coach information, as well as the college information. We have a pretty cool camp notification thing with college coaches, where if you have a college on your watch list, anytime that college posts a camp, you actually get an in-app notification. They have the ability to go in, pull up any coach, pull their clips from their video clip folder, and send those clips to college coaches. And obviously, one of the really cool, unique things that we have is that college coaches get free access to Athletes Go Live. And anytime a college coach watches live, watches archive, or views your clips, the athlete gets a notification, the parent gets an email, and the coach of the team has the ability to pull reports from their team account. It does have an athlete profile. We are working on some integration right now with NCSA to allow some of this data to flow through. So if you are using NCSA, there's going to be some integration as well. At every Alliance event, there's going to be leaderboards. Live leaderboards. These things are going to be live. So if you're not scoring and streaming, you're not going to be on the leaderboards. There's going to be obviously the team stats, the individual player stats, all this information on here as well. And again, this will be where they're pulling their player recognition stuff for the events as well. We do have over 2,700 softball coaches that have actively set up their accounts with us and using our product. We've had a lot of updates to our product, both from a college coach as well as from a team and athlete and scoring. So if you haven't used us in a little while, you're going to see some pretty drastic updates and improvements. We do have video tutorials. We also have an onboarding staff. I know I have Katie Hazlitt as well as Lisa Scalzo on the call this evening. They're part of our onboarding team. They're here to help make sure that your organizations and teams are properly set up and properly registered and properly trained to be able to use the product. So that is all I have.
Thank you, Andrew. And I do think it's important just to reiterate with Athletes Go Live that they have custom APIs, and they've actually worked directly with our software engineer to make all this seamless to work. And it's actually our scoring system, which we use an ELO rating. It's used common in many sports, but we have the ability to take, it doesn't matter what event you play in, whether it's a USA, a USSSA, an unsanctioned, a Triple Crown. We're the only ones that have the ability to take from all those different events and give one cumulative score. So I want to give an example. When you're actually on the Alliance Fast Pitch website and you click on any team, or you go to the Rocky Mountain list and you click on their team list, it'll actually take you to this team profile. So here's an example of the Utah Fast Pitch Club. It gives what their current ELO rating is, their Alliance rating. Every team starts at 1,600. So clearly this team has done very well. They're second in the RMFL, and their national rank is 26 based on their points. So you can see here, it gives their strength of victory, their total runs. It looks at a snapshot of their last few games. If you click the middle tab, this also gives you basically the last games that you've played. And so you can go back in, look at every single game that this team has played. You can see the AGL event ID, what the event was, and you can actually look at the opponent's score and how that affected their rating. So this is a live scoring system. Again, so we get asked all the time, why do I need to use AGL? This is exactly why, because we actually have an automated process through AGL that allows for this scoring system. And just another cool feature here on the third tab is the roster tab. And in fact, if you are an NCSA Team Edition member, your Team Edition roster will also pop up here, which I think is good for college coaches as well. So just showcasing a couple of our partners via our website and rosters here. So with that, I'm going to toss it over to Randy and talk more specifically about how all of this affects you as a RMFL team.
Great, thanks, Jamie. So it looks like we'll cover the league information, our player recognition, our league schedules, which are published on the Alliance website under the RMFL section, the current qualified teams, and then earning the AFCS berth and what that means and how many we have left and how many we've given out. So we can go ahead and go to the next one. So for the Rocky Mountain Fast Pitch League, our states consist of Colorado, New Mexico, Wyoming, Utah, and West Texas. The way it works for us for points is currently we have a set of tournaments that are already pointed. We decide those at the end of a season, and we typically have chosen, when we were getting started, we chose the tournaments that we knew best here locally, that had the best participation with the best competition. And in doing that, we decided, okay, these set of tournaments are tournaments that we believe have the right components to make up pointing a tournament. And so we've set some standards, some minimum standards of like how many teams should be in a tournament for it to actually get pointed, because we want to make sure that there's fair and equal opportunity for every team that's in the league, but also we want to make sure that it makes sense, right? That you don't just have one team in a tournament and you point that tournament. It doesn't really work that way. So we want to make sure that we're as even as possible and making sure that we stay true to, earning everything that you get within the Alliance and this league. Some of the local tournaments sponsored, we created a fall championship tournament, which that was in El Paso, Texas this fall, was our first time we did it, where we gave out an AFCS 2022 bid. That event went really well, I thought. Obviously getting started, where some of the impact is some of the younger groups don't tend to jump on board as early as the 14, 16, and 18. So that's where we ended up giving out bids, because that was where we had the best participation, and we had the most teams. And what we're looking forward to in the coming years is really growing that youth section of 10, 12s, and 14s to be bigger participants, so that there's a greater pool of competition, and then it makes sense to be able to travel to one of the states within our league and fight for one of those bids. So moving forward, our summer regional championship is here in Colorado. Triple Crown is the host of our summer super regionals, that we call it. That will be Memorial Day weekend. That's been on the calendar now for since we kicked off the season. They'll be the host for that event, and at that event we have 3 bids that will be earned. And then again in fall, moving forward, we're going to have our fall championships. We'll stay in El Paso. So we can go ahead and go to the next slide, Jane. Okay, player recognition. So this has been a big thing for Rmfl. What I will say, AGL, you really have to understand the necessity of using AGL and what it gives to your individual athlete and your team. It being from a small market, if we want to continue to compete with the larger markets, or the softball mecca, we need to make sure that we're on board and we're doing things that put our kids in the light of the national competition. And you can do that by using AGL. Those stats that your players are creating on a weekend basis, those all go against everybody nationally. And as a board, the Rmfl comes together. We get a report from the AGL. We take the top outstanding players from a junior and a senior level playing, and we filter those down to roughly the top 3 to 5 players for pitching and hitting. And then as a board, we vote with some criteria on, who we think deserves to be spotlighted for that month or to earn that player of the month recognition. It's a big deal. The participation that we get with AGL and what these kids get out of seeing themselves on a national spotlight, that's a big deal. They don't get that from a small region typically. That is one of the biggest things that I think has been great for us is, it's not, for lack of a better way, but it's not always about California. It's not always about Texas, right? It is about Colorado and New Mexico and Utah and Wyoming. Like, we have great players and great athletes in this region. And, we can use the player recognition system to really spotlight those kids. And, we've done some great stories and national publications have actually picked up some of our stories and our kids enough stories on them. And that's a big deal. So, things like the all-star team, the all tournament teams, the national all-star team, that all comes from those statistics that you're putting in using AGL. And then, it's pretty cool to see the statistical leaderboard and then see an Rmfl kid up there, right, top of the standings sticking out, like, the Rmfl Desert Spring Championship, right? We have a Utah fast pitch kid right in there nationally. That's a huge deal. And I know for this region, the coaches, I believe the coaches feel that way as well. All right, we can go to the next slide. So currently on our league schedule, like I had said, on the Alliance website, under the Rmfl tab, you can go to schedule, and you'll see all the tournaments listed. It's under tournaments, sorry. So all the tournaments that we have already currently listed, there's a registration link, there's an AGL ID associated with those events, and they tell you, essentially you're going to get team points, you're going to get player stats. You'll see there the Rmfl Super Regional, that's May 28th through the 30th. That's being an event ran by Triple Crown. And that event type is a qualifier, meaning we're giving out an AFCS bid at that tournament. So you're going to get points, you're going to get stats, and that's a qualifier for nationals. So it's important for you to understand what tournaments are getting points for your seeding going into that super regional event, right? So you want to make sure that when you're looking for an Rmfl event, you go to this page, you see what events we're pointing, and make sure that you get in there and you play in those events, because those events lead to your seeding for super regionals. Okay. And one quick thing about that, if we want to go back really quickly, you'll see that there's not a ton of different locations. That is not by design. That is, we are needing more participation in our other states. I know Jonathan is working hard. There's about 4 new events coming for 2022 in New Mexico. Manny Medina is also working extremely hard on getting some more events set up in West Texas. And Roger's the same way. We've added a couple more this year in Utah alone that we ended up pointing that we hadn't originally had on there. So if you're a team and you're looking to get more tournaments in your area, the best thing for you to do is reach out to whoever our state rep is. If you're in Utah, it's Roger. If you're in New Mexico, it's Jonathan. If you're West Texas, it's Manny. If you're Colorado or Wyoming, it's me. You're going to reach out to us and you're going to ask us, hey, I have said tournament that I think would be a good pointed event, and here's why. And then we can have that discussion. We're not limited on any of the events that we decide to point. What we do is we do it by a process and making sure that it makes sense to point an event. And what we want to make sure is we give opportunities to teams that aren't like right here locally. You know, out in New Mexico, you guys need events. Out in, you know, West Texas, you need events. So we want to make sure that we're catering to you, and we're listening to the community on what tournaments that currently exist that we could point. And if there's open tournaments, there's always, or open weekends, there's always an opportunity for us to try and stand something up there locally and see if we can't get another event. That's always an idea that we're entertaining as well. So I just want to make sure that it's reiterated that these events aren't the only events that can be pointed, but they are the ones that we currently know about. They're current tournaments we know about, and that's why they're pointed, and that's how it started. But we can always add to this list. We just need to A, know about an event, and B, have a conversation with whoever wants to bring that to our attention. All right, go ahead and next slide. So currently, we are given 5 bids per age group by the Alliance for AFCS. Right now, we have, it says there's 0 10U earned. We actually have one out there waiting to see if that team is going to accept that berth that was earned during the fall. We have 2 12U berths that were earned during the fall. We have 3 to be earned during the Rmfl Super Regionals. We have 1 14U team that has accepted the berth that they earned in fall, which gives us 4 remaining berths. And then 16s and 18s, you'll see there that both those teams earned their bid as well during 2 fall events. And we have 3 remaining berths to award for the Super Regional event and Memorial Weekend. So that kind of shows you the set of berths that we get as a league. Again, those teams that have these bids all earned them in some fashion, whether they took first or if they were second, it was because the first place team decided they weren't necessarily ready to go into the Alliance and the Rmfl. You can see here by name the teams that are currently qualified for AFCS. I know that I've spoken with these coaches individually. They're excited. They're going to play the best of the best. It's a big deal to get there. I personally attended last year with my daughter, and it was the biggest event that I had ever been to, and I've been coaching for quite some time. It was pretty amazing the things that the Alliance did to cater to the teams and to the players. So if you get that opportunity, I think it's something that, you know, you've earned it. You've earned the opportunity to compete against the best of the best. And you know, throughout the nation, you're going to have the other best of the best there. So you really are getting to prove where you stand from a small market against a larger market. And for me as a coach, that's huge. I want my kids to know that they're just as good as anybody else in this country and that they can compete at that level. And it's not about who I know. It's not about what I think. It's about how they play and if they've earned it. And if they've earned that opportunity, they get to go out there and prove that they can compete against everybody. And to me, that makes this whole endeavor worth it, right? It makes it all worth it, because now I get to do and get to attend something that I've earned, something that I know in my heart that only could get there by the way I played on the field. So that's a big deal. All right. I don't think I have anything else to add. I will tell you that if you are dialed in and you have questions, or you're watching this online, you have any questions at all, you can always give me a call and reach out. I'm very, very happy to help answer any questions, direct you in any manner. You know, we work hand in hand a lot with Shannon. We've had some registration questions come up. I will tell you from a registration standpoint, now having Shannon in place is extremely helpful for us and has been extremely responsive. So whenever we have any issues, it seems like they're getting resolved very quickly at this point. And so that's, you know, that came over time, right? You know, starting something new to where we're at now, it's been night and day. So if you have any questions at all, don't hesitate to give myself or any of my board members a call or an email. We're happy to help. All right, Jamie, thank you.
Thanks, Randy. I'm going to pass it. Speaking of earning it on the field and championships, I'm going to pass over to Dave McCorkle.
Oh, I thought you were going to say, speaking of best of the best, but I guess I'll go to that.
Not quite.
Well, I'm glad y'all are here tonight. Again, anything with Alliance, I'm the director of operations for any league operation. I can help in any way. Obviously, I will lean on and work with Randy and them. But Shannon and I will work side to side and help with registration. I'm going to be in charge of the events. We're excited to go to year 2 of the events. The locations this year for the qualified division, and again, we'll get into the open division later, which is open to any teams. But the AFCS is the Alliance Fast Pitch Championship Series. That is a series and a tournament format that was built on college softball. This year, the 10U, 12U are in Oklahoma City. The 14U is in California, hosted by Triple Crown. And 16U, 18U is in Westfield or by Indianapolis, Indiana, and hosted by USSSA. Now notice that we are not an event company. We are partnered with the USAs, the USSSAs, and the Triple Crowns to host the events for the AFCS. So we're excited that those events all rotate east every year. So the Oklahoma City, whoever's there, for example, this year, 10-year, 12-year, next year, they'll travel to Indianapolis. And then whoever's in Indianapolis, which is 16U, 18U this year, they'll travel over to the West Coast next year to Southern California. And then 14U, who's in Southern California next year, will play on the Hall of Fame Stadium. So, within 3 years, all age groups will have a chance to play at Hall of Fame Stadium, have a chance to experience other locations. So we're excited about that rotation. All facilities and all locations there are top-notch fields that, weather shouldn't come into play. And, it's an exciting venue to host a major event. Now, as far as the format last year was exactly like the college format, the NCAA. It started with 64 teams in a regional round, then advanced to super regionals, and then advanced to the Elite 8. We played that last year, which was great, but we came to find out that there was a lot more than 64 select ball teams in the country at each age group that have a chance to win it. So we put a lot of smart people together, and we came up with an idea that still matches that, but it includes 96 teams. The regional round will be groups of 6. So you have 16 groups of 6 playing a double elimination bracket that is modified to not finish. The top 2 teams will go to tier 1. The 3rd and 4th will go to tier 2, and the 5th and 6th will go to tier 3. And so, no matter where you're at in the country, no matter how you got there, if you never left your state and you're able to get a berth, and this is the only time you travel, now your families are paying less than probably normal, and they're going to travel that one time, and however they end up in that regional is going to probably prove where they belong. If they're a 5th place team, they got a chance to go to tier 3. If they're 1st or 2nd place, they go to tier 1, and then pretty much everything starts over in the super regional round. There's 3 different tournaments going on in one. You have a tier 1 championship, a tier 2 championship, and a tier 3 championship. All those championships are played the exact same, be treated the exact same, and are played out to a winner. That round will play as 14 brackets, played as a double elimination, winner take all, winner advances to Elite 8. That is where teams start getting knocked out. All teams will make the super regional round. And then once you get to super regional round and you lose twice, then you're out. And now it starts getting to where it's the Elite 8. If you look there on the left, that's an example of a regional round. It's a 16 bracket with the winner of the winner's bracket and the winner of the loser's bracket advancing to tier 1. And then the 3rd and 4th going to the tier 2 championships. And then the 5th and 6th going to tier 3. As you move into super regional round, on the right, there is a sample of a 14 double elimination bracket with an if game that the winner takes all. So here, last year, we just did best 2 out of 3 on 2 teams against one another. And, a lot of people didn't favor that as much, but here you still have to beat a team twice to get through that. But there are other teams involved to where you're not playing the same team twice and you only play 4 games in the event. So that was changed. We heard the voices, and we're very proud of being able to adjust as needed to do what's best for the teams and the kids in the sport. So as the super regional ends, the winner of the final of those 4 will move into the Elite 8. And the Elite 8 is exactly formatted like the College World Series. So it's the top 4 bracket A, other 4 bracket B. Actually, it's seeded. Everything will be seeded. We have a seeding committee that bases off rankings and then plus some resumes, and they'll assign the teams all seeding. They'll be seeded out. So there's no politics. There's no draw. It is all based off numbers and results on the field. So Joe Breer up in the Northwest said it best, is they don't have to leave the state. They're not sure where they fall, but once they get there, they're going to find out real quick where they fall. And if they get into tier 2, tier 3, then all right, now they can start over and go try to win that championship there. So we're excited to bring in the top 96 teams and to find out who the top teams are. And at the end of the event, we'll have a 1 through 96 pretty much rankings of the finishing of that event. So we're excited for the AFCS. If you have any questions on that, I'll be glad to help. Let Jamie take over the Alliance All-Star Game, which is a phenomenal event.
Yeah, something we will continue to do each year, and we actually play this on site at our 16U and 18U AFCS. So this year the event will actually take place July 24th, that Sunday, in Kokomo, Indiana. We are in the current process. We're getting ready in the next couple of weeks to actually name our league all-stars. In the fall and winter, we had a national watch list that went, if you guys are familiar with On Deck Softball and Derek Allister, he actually leads that process with our league leaderships of trying to identify all the best players to put on our watch list. That'll be narrowed down to league all-star teams. And then eventually come May, we will announce our second annual Alliance All-Star. So this is the game that's powered by Under Armour. All the athletes, as you see up here, they're going to get decked out in all their swag. I was pumped just to see what they did for female athletes. I think that part is really important, to make these female athletes be treated exactly the same as their male counterparts in other sports. And we saw that they played a heck of a game. I think the score was 10-9. The game was on ESPNU. We had over 40,000 viewers on it. And it was just a really fun experience. If you see Montana Fouts right there, Jada Coleman, we had Jocelyn Allo, Aaliyah Andrews. We had a lot of current college players that came back and coached the game, as well as a couple USA players, Hannah Flippin and Kaylani Ricketts. We will do that again this year, of having an opportunity for college athletes to come back and coach that game. So just overall, a really cool experience. Under Armour is phenomenal, but just something that, as we said at the beginning, we want to lead with the athletes and giving them the best experience. I think this is a good example of that. Before I pass it over to Madison, I want to just give a little bit of background of why we started the Open Nationals. So as McCorkle said, only 96 teams have an opportunity to earn a berth. Well, we have well over 96 teams in each age division. So we thought it was important to make sure that every team who registers for the Alliance has an opportunity to play in a national championship caliber to our standard. So we're really excited to partner with the city of Chattanooga, a city that is very much used to running national championship events in many sports. We know our athletes are going to get treated right. The teams will have a great experience. And most importantly, once they get there, they're going to have the same opportunity to compete. So Madison, with that, I will let you talk more about our Open Nationals.
Perfect. Thank you, Jamie. And I'm glad all you guys are here and giving us the opportunity to talk about this event. We are very excited. I am Madison Crownover. I'll be the event director. This is Tony Boyd. He'll be the assistant tournament director. We're very excited to work with the Alliance to bring this new event, a much needed event, as Jamie just talked about, because there are so many teams needing a place to play for the end of the year. So I'm going to let Tony talk for a minute. He's coached travel ball and has been involved with hosting national championships, specifically in Chattanooga, for over 25 years.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for having us on. And we are, as Madison said, super excited to host this event. I have coached and worked in national tournaments in Chattanooga for a number of years. That's not what experience that's unique that I bring to the table. I had a 34-year career with the Public Works Department, who worked in Chattanooga, who worked hand in hand with Parks and Rec Department, running multi-million-dollar facilities. This kind of commitment to these facilities doesn't happen without commitment from multiple mayoral administrations. So I worked through 7 of these administrations, and what was consistent from one administration to the other was their commitment to youth sports, specifically youth fast pitch softball. So over the years, Chattanooga has proved that they will have a long-standing relationship with these athletes and these tournaments, and to be a premier city to host these events. And so we've put a team together to ensure that both from a softball standpoint and a city experience, that this will be one to remember.
And so just to touch on a few details, the photos here are the complexes that we will be using that Tony was talking about. All of these complexes are within 20 minutes of each other. They're also about 20 minutes from the Chattanooga airport, where there are direct flights coming in. We're also under 2 hours from the Atlanta, Knoxville, and Nashville airports. And just to touch on something, so we did the AFCS Championship Series. So that is a qualification process for Open Nationals. You do not have to qualify. Anybody can sign up. So the great part about this is, instead of waiting to see if you qualify, you can go ahead and sign up and secure your year-end tournament and register. And if you do end up qualifying, we can apply that to your AFCS registration. But you can go ahead and kind of book that today. So we're really excited about this. And we do currently have about a 60 team commitment right now. It's growing every day, so it's kind of hard to throw a number out there, but we're really excited about what we have so far. And we are welcome to answer any questions that you have. I'm going to put this contact information in the chat as well, and just reach out. We are willing to answer any questions.
All right. Super Cup. If you haven't heard about Super Cup, it's a kind of a year-long process event that has been built by a lot of people. So I definitely can't take credit there. I'm just kind of the one that speaks about it. And it's a 3-stage event. The first stage being in the fall. Now, how you enter the Super Cup is the results that you have at AFCS. The top 16 teams automatically qualify for Super Cup. And then the top 5 teams in each league qualify for the Super Cup. And it rounds out to give us the top 48 teams in each age group. Super Cup stage 1, I say each age group, 14, 16, 18s. The stage 1 is played in 6-team pools regionally. So obviously we have a West, a Central, and an East. And within the 16 pool, they play a 6-team round robin, which gives you 5 games in a weekend on a Saturday, Sunday, and the top 4 teams advance to stage 2. Stage 2 is a 4-team bracket played as a double elimination, and the winner takes all and moves on to stage 3. Stage 2 has already been played in California. Super Cup has brought this year a lot of extra competition to already existing events and existing structure. And so it's really been raved about bringing that competition early on and a little bit more development on getting out of the exposure games at times to where it's, time to compete. So I wasn't able to see the California games, but I heard it was a summer feel come January. The stage 2 and the Central and East will be played in June, and the winner of each group of 4 will move on to the stage 3, which is the final 8 that'll be played in the front end of California, which is the Colorado games. So Tuesday and Wednesday, teams will play a kind of an 8-team single elimination, winner take all, and the final 2 teams will play on TV on a live stream game there in Colorado in front of Lord knows how many college coaches they have there. So just kind of an added event that brings more people together. The word alliance means so much. Obviously, the Super Cup here is an alliance Super Cup, but it's just everybody deciding that, hey, let's add a little bit more competition and make it a little bit more relevant throughout the year. Have running stats, have all tournament teams, and just a little bit more exposure that we can add for the kids without trying to add too much extreme travel. So again, the stage 3 is played to where all those teams are going anyway. So we try to add as many things we can to partner with existing events and existing tournament directors to where, we're not adding a lot more travel and expenses on people. So Super Cup next year will be very similar, if not very close to the same. And we'll make the adjustments needed and look forward to Super Cup next year.
Thanks, Dave. And just to wrap all this up and bring it all back, I understand it's a ton of information. Obviously, our sport is driven by the competition and competing for that national championship. But honestly, it's so much more than that. And that's what I love about the Alliance. It's really about that player development, about that unity, about being your year-round support system. And so that's what's exciting of, trying to figure out, how do I fit into all this? What if my team's not one of the elites? Hey, we've got a place for everybody. Like I said at the beginning, this is all about a membership, about supporting our athletes, just continue to see what we can do to grow the game. So what's next? What's to come? We will continue to do what we do at the very core of all of this with our memberships for teams, for athletes, for coaches. But we are continuously trying to grow. You'll see soon, we're launching a nonprofit arm just to provide more access and more opportunities to girls playing the sport, to get more playing and to keep her in the game. We have added a couple organizations from Canada. So excited about that, about the international opportunities that'll come with that already. We have added the Canada Cup. It's historically an international event with a lot of national teams and international representation, but they also have a youth division. So we're actually giving out 2 AFCS berths at the Canada Cup, but just really excited about, how we can continue to grow our sport at an international level. And if you see this Team Alliance is what we did last year, where we got together a lot of current college players to go play Team USA, to play the USSSA Pride. We are going to grow that as well. So we're in the process of putting together what will ultimately look like a college league. So those players that just played for you in travel ball, we want to give them an opportunity to continue to play and develop. And now with even with the transfer portal being so big, maybe an opportunity to even continue to get recruited and scouted. So constantly things going on. We meet, like I said, we have a ton of visionaries in the sport. We've only been around for a year and a half, but majority of the people that work within our leagues in the Alliance have 10, 15, 20 plus years. So it's finally a unique opportunity that we all get to work together and collaborate and do what we can to grow this game. So with that is all that's on board on next for the Alliance. Randy, I want to make sure that you guys cover everything you do as well. We've got, some people, some names of if you've got questions about the league or about the Alliance, but anything from the Rmfl group that you guys would like to add?
Just really quickly too, we do have a juniors division person in charge of our juniors divisions, kind of our director for junior division. That's Melissa Gooder. And then we also have an outside consultant to our board, and that's Ashley Rowley. She played at Florida. She was a catcher. We try to make sure that we bring in people to, give some insight that are not necessarily on the board, right? So we have gone out of the way to make sure that we have some inclusion there and that we're not forgetting about the juniors. So our juniors director is Melissa. We work a lot with her on trying to get some more involvement at that lower level as well. So, but you'll see here, myself as commissioner, Chris Savaji is league administrator. And the reason that those two are only listed is because typically those questions are coming into us. So if you're needing something, you're typically going to hit Chris or myself up. Pablo and Jeff and Jonathan and Roger and Manny, they can all answer questions as well. But if you need anything, let us know. Outside of that, we look forward to having you come out and compete in the Rmfl events, and then seeing everybody at Super Regional so that we can send great representation of our league to AFCS.
So thank you, Randy. Thank you guys. Thank you to the Rmfl team. Number one, just for what you do year round and making this possible and looking out for your region. Appreciate Andrew, Madison, Tony. Thank you guys for joining us, and everybody else. Appreciate you all joining us tonight. If you have questions, that's what we're here to do. We're here to help and answer any questions that you have. So make sure that you're reaching out and get those questions answered.
Thank
Have a
you,
good night,
Jamie.
everybody.
Thanks, Randy. Thanks, guys.
Thanks all.